It's time for a full review for the Sony Xperia Z3 on T-Mobile. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome to another video. So it's time for my full review of the Sony Xperia Z3 on T-Mobile. It's not that it's on T-Mobile, but it's just the T-Mobile variant. So things on the phone might be different from your version that you have. So first thing I want to talk about is the screen. Now I have, if you've seen my other video, I have a matte front and back applied to this to help with the slipperiness of the phone. So if it looks a little dull, that's probably why, but I can show you here. Crank the brightness just a little, so that you see how beautiful that screen is. The phone itself has a 5.2-inch display. It's a 1080p display, and it has their technology called triluminous. Now this means absolutely nothing to probably an end user, but it just basically makes the phone, it's supposed to make the phone more vibrant and appear to be more beautiful in your day-to-day activities. And I gotta admit, it is true. It does make the phone feel and look a certain way. And it really brings out the colors in the display when you're looking at it from every angle, just about. Viewing angles, speaking of display, viewing angles on the device are pretty good. Got really good. And again, I have a matte screen protector on here, so it kind of dims it down a little bit. But in real world testing, if you were to go to the store and view this without the matte screen protector, or check out some of my other videos where I don't have the screen protector on there, you'll see that the screen is beautiful. Coming in at 5.2 inches with a 1080p display, that gives it a pixel density of 424 for all the techies out there. So, body. There's a lot that comes along with the body of this device. The first thing is how thin it is. It's glass on front and back, and then it has a metal frame. So, with the rounded corners, there's just so much that goes into a beautiful device like this. The body of this thing is put together very well. With the body, I'll go down to build quality, and build quality on this. This is one of the best built devices I have ever held in hand. It is fantastic. Besides the fact that it's water resistant, it's just, wow, it's really nice. Along this side here, you've got a dedicated camera key, volume rocker, power button, SD card, and SIM slot right here. On this side, you just have the lanyard spot, docking connector, and where you charge it and sync it right here. On the top, you've got a microphone for noise cancellation and a 3.5mm headphone jack. On the bottom, absolutely nothing. The microphone is actually down in here as well for talking. On the back, obviously, you've got what is one of the highest selling points of the phone, is a 20.7 megapixel camera. Just fantastic. And on the front, I believe the front is a 2.2, which also does 1080p. The rear actually does 4K video, and it is just beautiful. You've also, I haven't forgotten, you've got dual front-facing speakers here, and they are plenty loud. They are nice. I won't say that they're not. They may not be boom sound quality from HTC, but they are really loud because they're facing you, and that just makes a world of difference. So, the next thing, since we're talking about the speakers, the sound. The sound on these, you need to hear it in person, but the fact of the matter is the sound is great, and I'll give you a little sample here.
Right here.
So sound on here is going to be just ridiculous. Let me grab a movie too, so I can show you. Let's see here. Let's do Sex Tape.
Mother?
Yeah.
Really?
Babe, my dick can see the future.
And I
That's why
think
we call it Strabiscus.
I need to probably raise the brightness because I've got the brightness down,
I'm gonna want to have sex.
and so the matte screen protector
You know why
doesn't
I
do it
wanna
any
have sex with
justice.
But
Because of your butt, babe.
With the matte screen protector on here, it kind of dims down the screen for viewing over camera. But trust me when I tell you, the videos that play on here, you'll enjoy them. This matte screen protector doesn't show well on camera how beautiful the screen is when you're watching movies, but it really is nice, and the sound quality, as you can see from that movie, was pretty good. So web browsing is something that I frequently do, and I was on Android Authority earlier, so I'll just stay here. As you can see here, web browsing, and I'm doing it over T-Mobile's LTE network because I like to do it that way sometimes to, you know, give you a real world testing. So if you don't have LTE or you do have LTE, obviously, you know, my Wi-Fi is extremely fast. So, you know, you can put it on either or. I don't know how fast your Wi-Fi is, but mine is really fast. And it just so happens that I'm in an area where T-Mobile is extremely fast. So web browsing on this will be fantastic. You shouldn't have any problems depending on where you are and depending on what your coverage looks like. Let's go to Phone Arena, because they have a full website and no mobile site, and I can show you how it loads over T-Mobile's network with the processing power that stands behind this bad boy. And speaking of the processing power, I'll tell you what the processor is here. Let me get back to my spec sheet here because no reason for me to memorize everything. Comes with a quad-core 801 Snapdragon processor clocked at 2.5 gigahertz with a 330 Adreno processor for graphics. So you can see here that surfing the web over T-Mobile's LTE on a full website like this, you should be good to go. Pinch to zoom is great. Everything should be fine on there for your web surfing adventures. One thing that most people don't talk about in videos anymore is the call quality. How's the call quality on here? Well, this actually has HD calling, and it's superb, to say the least. I'm in an area where, you know, I have HD calls, and most of the people that I'm speaking to, they have an HD device. Whether it be a different carrier or T-Mobile, you can tell the difference between an HD call and a regular call. It just feels like their voice is jumping out of the phone almost. So its call quality is just fantastic. Now, on to battery life. So we all know that this device has great battery life, and it's because of the stamina mode. So in the power saving mode here, you have, I basically is saying I can get 22 hours of battery left with this 57%, or three days of standby, and that's what the regular power saving mode. But if I switch on the ultra stamina mode, I can get 5 days of battery out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and activate this and show you what happens when you do. It takes a second to get into the ultra stamina mode, but once it's there, it gives you a grayscale and it just limits your applications down to this. So you have the option to actually turn on mobile data, which I can do that. You can turn it on right here, and then it'll take you back. It'll give you a message here. But if you're in this mode, you want to stay here and you want to enjoy all the features that you get with ultra stamina mode. And so what it'll do is it'll load up your information here. It'll show like 3 days of time left. There we go. So it shows 5 days of battery left and 12 days of standby. Now that's granted with 56% left. You're staying in this mode and you're leaving it here. And I can guarantee you, I've tried this for several hours, and the battery, I waited until it got to 15% and I turned it all the way on, and I left it here, and I left the house, spent the day out, did everything. It just would not die, and I got back home and still had 9% left. So it's nice. You get access to your phone, your contacts, messaging, your camera, your album, which is their album is just beautiful, I might add, calendar, alarm clock, calculator, and you get an FM radio because you don't need data for an FM radio. You just plug in some headphones and there you go, and you get access to the minimal settings here. Storage, brightness, anything you want to use in these settings right here, Bluetooth, everything. So with that being said, I'm going to switch it back out of ultra stamina mode and take it back over. So I'm going to get into some of the features of the camera once this gets back going. And I think you're going to be pleased with the camera on this device. It is a fantastic camera. And, you know, that's just, there's really no way to put it. The camera on this device really exceeds my expectations, because I watch other blogs sometimes, but I don't watch them to buy products. I buy, and I suggest you do the same. If you're able to do it, buy the product. Don't always listen to what you see these bigger bloggers say about the device. Just because they have it and you like them as you think you know them as a person or whatever, don't go by that. Go to the store, play with it yourself, or buy it. That way you can get the real feel of the device, because you're going to have it in your hands and you're going to keep it, you know, for months to come. So you're going to be, you're going to know the real deal about the device. So we're back in the regular mode here. So let's get into this camera. This 2-stage shutter camera is just beautiful. So settings here, all of these, and there's more as you can see here. I can download some settings and things and add on to the camera, but a lot of these I've tested, and I have to say some of them are fantastic. The 4K recording, the time shift video, the time lapse video, it works pretty good. But the YouTube live stream, I think that's one of the most unique features. And I'm not saying that it's unique to this phone, because obviously other phones probably can do this. I haven't done the research, but I'm sure there's other phones that have had this feature prior to this one. And if not, they should jump on board, because it's a nice feature. Live stream to YouTube is really sweet. I think I like that. There's tons of different effects in here that you can get into, but you get into manual mode. You'll need to go here if you want to take a 20 megapixel camera shot. And you see, I've been in manual mode before because it's already set to 20 megapixel, but it defaults to the 8 megapixel, 16 by 9, I believe mine was at. But if you want to shoot some really stunning shots, you can actually put it in 20 megapixel. Now you lose control at this point. You can't do HDR. You can do touch to focus, but that's pretty much it. You know, you don't have many things that you can actually do on the 20 megapixel shot. So let me grab some things to take a picture of here. And drop test. So let's take a picture here. Gotta turn off the flash. The flash is defaulted. Now I'll take one with flash off. And I used the touch to focus that time, and I'm going to use the shutter button. Let's look at these pictures here. And look at the clarity. Whoa, 20 megapixel picture. So look at the clarity of the picture here. This is the one without the flash, and here's the one with the flash. You can see the detail in the picture there. This camera is really, really nice. You should be able to take stunning photos if you are a person who wants a cell phone with a great camera. And this camera here has proven it's really nice. And I think it's worth noting that the overall appearance of this device and the overall build quality comes across really stunning, really sleek. Great build quality. I like this build quality just as much as I like my M8's build quality and my 5S build quality. Very stunning, very nice, on par, hands down. So, is there anything that I dislike about this device? Well, I think one thing I don't know if it's so much a dislike, it's more of an Android thing, or the way they have this one scanned. But the stamina mode, as you saw, comparing it to other phones that have stamina mode, you see what it takes to get into the ultra stamina mode. And I've compared it to some Samsung devices, and I just think it's, why do I have to reboot just to get into standby mode? That's just me. I've always, some things you should be able to get them there quickly. And stamina mode, that's not like a downer or anything, or it's just, it's a little frustrating at times when I want to go into stamina mode. I have to reboot the phone to get in and out of stamina mode. So that's kind of, I don't know if that falls into the dislike category. It's just kind of a inconvenience, I'll say. I have a gaming video up, so I won't do any gaming, but overall, this package right here is pretty much complete. Front firing speakers. One thing I didn't mention is that it's waterproof. You can go a half hour at underwater, 1.5 meters, so that's fantastic. I've actually been putting this in the shower, listening to the radio, all kind of stuff. So it can take getting wet, and it clears up pretty quickly. But you can't really operate it underwater unless you're just taking a picture with the camera shutter button right there. But you can operate it. Just playing your music and, you know, things like that. So overall, though, I give this device a 9. No, I'm just kidding. I give this device a solid 10. I think it's a complete package. The battery in here is 3,100 milliamps, and they've done some great optimizations with the software. Android phones are known to are just been really fragmented, and you've got these beefy products like this. And then I have a Windows Nokia Lumia 635. I don't need all those beefy specs, and the battery is fantastic. And the product itself is still good for what it costs for $100, opposed to the $630 price tag of this device. But you pay what you pay for things, and you get what you pay for. And this device, I think it deserves a 10. Overall, I think it's a fantastic product. I think Sony, for me, again, in my eyes, I didn't like the Z. And respect to the Z owners, you know, maybe I got a bad one, who knows? But they've completely redeemed themselves in my eyes with the Sony Xperia Z3. So guys, that's it. That is how I feel about this device. I give this device a perfect 10. I think it does everything and then some, and really exceeded my expectations. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.